Hey guys, RC here, back with Draft Day Sports College Basketball, and we are with the Navy Midshipmen. This is episode 10, so welcome. I'm doing this as a vlog for GM Games, so welcome to all of you GM Games people, and thank you for checking it out. Anybody else, check out GM Games. They do have a large selection of videos, games that they represent, and lots and lots of stuff. New games, old games. I saw Football Pro 98, which I've heard a lot about. Never played it, but I'd heard a lot about it. But they even have that game that you can download. So check them out. They're on the internet. They're on Reddit, YouTube. So check them out, and don't forget to check out my channel. I've got daily Football Manager content, also do survival style games, currently doing Myth Survival. But today we're here for Draft Day Sports Basketball of the college variety. So just a reminder, this is a Journeyman style save. We are starting off with a low prestige coach and a low prestige school. Navy, I believe, had a 12 prestige when we started. And the goal is to get as high as we can to build our prestige, our reputation, and get to better jobs accordingly. Unfortunately, we need to win a few matches, or a few games to do that. So looks like we lost to American. That is not a good start. So we did one extra game last time. We usually do 6 games per episode. I did 7 last time because I knew we would get to the postseason here and we would need a few minutes to wrap it up. But we've got 19 points for Hurd, 12 for Welch, 10 for Laster. So the seniors did very well. And we shot 45% from the field, 29% from three-point range, and 29 foul attempts. Wow, that is a big number. We have not, we've seen 8s and 12s, so that's interesting. It didn't mean anything because we still lost the game, but we were only down 1 at the, just brutal. All right, we have got to find a win here somewhere, fellas. We have got to find a win. So as we said last episode, we are going with, at the end of last episode, we went with our assistant coach's suggestion to play 4 seniors and then our sophomore center instead of a couple of underclassmen that we had been playing most of the season. And I made the decision, look, let's go with that. I may change my mind if we keep losing, but the goal was, can we get to 10 wins? That's got to be our focus, our primary goal. And then using cards, suggestions, and tips at the end of a season when you're not going anywhere, when nothing is going to happen, go ahead and play your underclassmen, give them more minutes, and help them develop more for the next season. And I'm losing patience with the seniors here because nothing is happening. Gonzaga, 26 wins now, 26-3 on the season. And we lose this one by 9. 17 points for McCray. Austin with 2 points and 6 boards. Wow. 9 points for Laws off the bench. Skipper with 2 in 10 minutes. 35% shooting. 22% from behind the arc. All right, we do have a couple of emails to look at. We had a campus visit. Didn't think it was worthwhile. All right, let's take a look. So we've got, 3 games left. Loyola, Colgate, and Army. And we are now in last place. And neither one of our 2 games are going to be easy. They're against teams that are twice as good as us at least, and we're on a 6-game skid. You know what? I think we have reached that point, boys. I think we have reached that point. So I'm going to restore our lineup. And see, it's not restoring the lineup that we had. All right, Wilder has a sprained ankle. Benton has moved down here. Cray, Neslin. See, Benton is here. Oh, okay. It's kept the that's what's throwing me off. It's not putting the players back in order. It's just putting in the matrix. So that's understandable. Okay, so Benton is going to start at point. Skiffer's going to start at the 4. Austin at the 3. Welch at the Austin at center. Welch at the 3, and McCray as our 2 guard. So we're going to go with that. We are going to roll the young kids out. I couldn't go with the seniors anymore. That, you know, we had that first game that they looked pretty decent, but honestly, we need a win, and if we're not going to win, I need to develop these young players so I've got a shot to win, a better shot to win next year and the year after. All right. And Loyola sends us to defeat. The problem is we can't not finish last if we can't get a win, and we need a win to get the 10th win on the season. But Benton goes for 15, so that's positive. Skiffer goes for 13, that's positive. McCray, who was already in, gets 11. Austin only 4 points, 12 boards. We shoot 36 and 27 from the field, 61% from the stripe. This is one of those games that you just look at and shake your head, right? Because we've looked at quite a few games. I do Football Manager, so I have matches in my head. And I'm thinking today is the last day of the championship season, had we not been in lockdown for coronavirus. But look at this. 21 of 57, 19 of 58. 10 3-pointers to 4, so that's 30 to 12. That's 18 more points from 3-point range. And we've been averaging between 8 and 12 foul shots a game. We ended up with 13. They took 29 frickin' foul shots. 29 foul shots. Oh, and they hit 86% of them, so 25 points there. So statistically, we won this game. We outplayed them on the court. They got charity shots. And for some reason, they got 2.5 times more than an average game. What are you going to do about that? There's nothing you can do about that. We led by 7 at the half and just get taken to the charity line in the second half as they drub us 42-28 after intermission to win by 7. That's brutal. Well, we've got one more match to make something happen. All right. Pretty sure this is the last game of the regular season. No, we've got 2 left. All right. I actually stopped on the day just in case. So let's play today. Come on, get a win, boys. 16-point defeat. I mean, we're not even close. We are not even close. Well, nobody can say this game is easy and, easy to manipulate and win, right? Nobody can say that. 11 points for Welch, 12 boards for Austin, 11 of them on the defensive glass, 8 points for McCray. Let's see, Benton looks like he fouled out with 5. I'm assuming 5 is the right number in college ball. Let's see, 24 minutes, and Laws had 15, and Neslin actually got in. So, yeah, I'm thinking Benton fouled out. And that put Neslin into the backup role. 8 points, 4 assists for McCray. 36%. 27%. And look at that again. We had 17 foul shots. They had 30, almost double. And they pick up 10 extra points. And we lose by 16. So, yeah, it's just, wow. All of a sudden, we've just been fouling left and right. Is Army our last game of the season? Is that right? No, that was the last game. This is the playoffs. Yes? No? Yes, Colgate was our last game. Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm going to assume that. Well, let's see. Have we already played them twice? I'm a little lost here because I wasn't paying attention to that. But let's see. We had a home game against Army here. No, okay. No, this is the last game of the regular season. Okay. So I feel better about that. I wasn't completely off my track. All right. This is the last match of the season, game of the season. I'm going to do that all the time. So this is troubling, but okay, Chris Austin got hurt and we failed to meet either one of our objectives. So I don't know if that's going to cause us to get fired. Shouldn't after 1 year, not from 100%, but that's not going to be good for next year. All right, 11 points for Austin, 11 boards before he got hurt, 13 points for McCrae, 5 assists, 6 points for Benton at the point, but 5 turnovers today. Still ended up +3, 10 points for Laws off the bench. And we ended up with 18 foul shots, but they almost doubled us again. I've got no idea, no answer why all of a sudden, just out of the blue. And every basketball game I've ever played, that seems to be sometimes, not all the time, but a determining factor in who wins and loses is what team gets the most foul shots. And 80 to 90% of the time, you'll be pretty even in foul attempts, but every once in a while you see these disparages that you're just like, okay, I don't get it. And yes, I understand that some teams can foul more, but consistently, that's 3 games in a row that we've been paying attention to. I mean, look at this, 5, 10, 26 foul shots, foul attempts for their starting 5, and we had 7. Now, some of that could have to do with points in the paint, because remember, we are playing an outside focus. We're favoring the outside. So you know what? I'm going to tweak that back to balanced. But that is troubling. So if we go to the standings, we finish 9-20 on the season, 4-14, last place, and 9 wins. And remember our goals: win 10 games and don't finish last. And we failed in both. So how much is that going to affect our job security? Can we get fired after 1 year? I don't know the answer to that. I've got 2 years left on my contract, so that's good. So I get paid for a year if they fire me. Let's go to our dash and see if another game has shown up. It has not, but that doesn't mean anything. So we can... Uh-oh. We got a JavaScript alert. I am going to take a picture of that just so I can report it to Wolverine. I don't think it'll crash the game. All right, today's date is the 3rd, so we're here. I think I was just going backwards. All right, so let's play the day. And a lot of times the smaller conferences, their conference tournaments are a little bit later, but let's get up to that and see if we can figure out where that's going to take place. Oh, you know what? Let's go to key dates. Conference tournaments start March 5th. Okay, so let's get to March 5th. You know what? I'm going to choose the sim to postseason option and see if it stops us. And it looks like it is, because remember, that moves however many days it has to go. Oh, wait. Stop simulation. So it didn't stop at the tournament. It was going to the playoffs. All right, well, that ticks me off a little bit. I'm going to make a formal complaint to Gary. If I choose sim to postseason, there should be an option in here, sim to conference tournament, then, if you're going to do that. That's my feeling. All right, so let's check our standings real quick. So we played Bucknell. Is this just for the right to get into the tournament? I have no idea. It wasn't a regular season game. And we started on, okay. Now, what the hell happened here? All right, so we were, okay, that was the last day of the season. I'm just trying to figure out where we're at. So this is March 2nd on the grid. We are March 6th in the game. So that was our last regular season game. Why would we only play Bucknell? Wouldn't we play Army unless the top 6 teams get a bye in the first round? And then Lafayette beat Boston. Bucknell plays Holy Cross. I guess that's what happened. The bottom 4, and then Lafayette's playing Army. So I guess you do have to play each other to get into the main part of the tournament. Fair enough. That's different. All right, well, let's check this out. We lose to Bucknell. That's just disheartening. 12 points for Benton. Only 1 assist. 4 of 14. All 4 came from behind the arc. Minus 18. Look at double-digit negatives for everybody. That's just shit. Nobody's, I mean, even our bench. Hurd had 7 off the bench. So let's see. 15 out of 46, 32.5%. 8 of 18. And then, see, look, only 12. Only 12. And they dominated in the paint, so it's not just paint points that affects your foul attempts. I don't get it. I don't get it. And then we went more balanced, so inside and outside, and we didn't have any more foul attempts. And it doesn't look like we had any more shots inside. Let's see. He had 3. All 7 of his were from inside the arc. Austin had 1 3-pointer, which he shouldn't be doing. He actually had more 3-point attempts. So, didn't really see a shift there. Wow, that's brutal. All right, well, we shouldn't have anybody declaring for the draft. Here's our final 10 for Player of the Year, led by Alan Agby from Virginia, 2-guard. Let's see, we've got 3 out of the 7 are big men. We've got 2 power forwards and 1 center out of Louisville. Everybody else is a small. All right, we're going to delete those, and I believe we are now done as we are eliminated. So let's just get through the tournament. All right, so Army beat Lafayette. Bucknell lost to Holy Cross as expected. And that gives us a final 4 of Loyola, Army, American, and Holy Cross. So we'll come back and see who wins the conference tournament. Well, it was certainly an interesting result. Army advanced to the final as one would expect, winning the regular season for the league. But they played American, who finished 6th, I think. 10-8 and a sub-500 team on the season, but they made the advancement, so that's interesting. All right, so where do we go now? Let's check our key dates. All right, key dates. So the next thing is the selection show on the 12th, and the postseason tournament starts on the 13th. So I tell you what, let's come back. Let's take a quick look at the polls and media, catch you guys up on that, how they ended up on the season. So Florida, number 1, 28-3. Gonzaga, 30 wins. Duke, Kentucky, Kansas. Sparty, Louisville, Villanova, Notre Dame, Virginia rounding out the top 10. Any surprise-looking teams in there? San Diego State at 13. East Tennessee State at 14. There's a surprise team. You're like, who? I've heard of Middle Tennessee State. I've never heard of East Tennessee State. So that's an interesting occurrence. Creighton's in there, the Bud Eyes, St. Mary's, and VCU. All right, so there's your top 25. So let's look at those key dates one more time. So we want to go. I tell you what, I'm going to come back if I can figure it out. I'm going to come back for the Final Four. So we'll see you guys for that. All right. Well, I figured I would drop in here. So there are our brackets for the NCAA Boston Regional, the Milwaukee Regional, and you can pause and check that out if you want to. The Nashville Regional, Duke is your number 1 seed there, and Kansas your number 1 seed in Denver. All right, so we're just going to kind of blow through these. All right, coming through out of the first round, Florida and Oklahoma, a 1-9 matchup. Looks like Washington was stunned by Maryland-Baltimore County, the 12-5 matchup. 2-7 on the other side, and Tennessee gets past East Tennessee State. Not surprising there. I think we called that one. We've got a 1-9, 4-5, 2-7, and the 11 seed gets past St. Mary's, Oklahoma State winning there. 1-8, another 5-12 upset, UConn getting past Creighton. 3-6, and Seton Hall edging Marquette in that 7-10 mild upset. 1-8 Kansas, 4-5, 3-6, 2-7. I think that looks like as expected. All right, moving down to, what is that, the Sweet 16. Florida gets past Oklahoma. Wichita State takes out number 12 Cinderella Maryland-Baltimore County. Tennessee beats Ohio State. Go Vols. SEC. And Gonzaga gets past Mississippi State. We've got Kentucky advancing, Michigan State, and Oklahoma State beats Cincinnati, the Bearcats, the high seed to fall there. Nashville, we see Duke and Louisville advance. We have Chalk advancing here in the Nashville Regional. And almost Chalk, Providence beats Villanova. What's that, 7 points? So Providence Friars getting past Villanova in Denver to reach the Sweet 16. All right, and the Elite 8 has been set. We have Chalk advancing Florida, Gonzaga out of the Boston Regional. Kentucky, Oklahoma State continues their Cinderella run, beating Michigan State. I can support that. And that will be in the Milwaukee Regional. The Nashville Regional sees Duke and Notre Dame, who edges Louisville by 10. And in the Denver Regional, Virginia and West Virginia advance. West Virginia ending Providence's run, and Virginia taking out Kansas. Virginia, remember, one of their players, their center, is in the final 10 for Player of the Year. All right, so we are going to look at the finals now, yes? All right, taking a look here, Florida takes out Gonzaga to advance to the Final Four. Oklahoma State shocks Kentucky as number 1 seed falls. So yeah, so Oklahoma State had to pause there for a second. So if the edit there is kind of glitchy, that's why. But Oklahoma State takes out number 1 Kentucky. And then in the Nashville Regional, Duke falls to Notre Dame, and Virginia falls to West Virginia. So our Final Four pits a number 1 Florida, 2 number 3s Notre Dame and West Virginia, and a Cinderella story, number 11 Oklahoma State. For some reason, it's not staying on the finals tab when I am simming ahead here, so that's a little unusual. All right, now it's staying there. I don't know what that was all about. Very weird, very weird. Maybe because there were no NCAA tournament games being played that day. I don't know. We do have some emails I want to check out here real quick. All right, so Florida ends Oklahoma State's run 86-70, and Notre Dame gets past West Virginia in a tight match, 4 points. Let's check those emails. We had a couple of campus visits, and we had a couple of home visits. Let's see. He said you'll definitely be hearing. So Greg Sura looks like he might take us up on our offer. And Eric Bass says no. Conley at least thought it was cool, and he'll be in touch. And Sura, of course, had 2 home visits, and he's definitely looking forward to being with us next year. Let's take a quick look at recruiting. So I don't even see Sura on here. Maybe we haven't offered him. Oh, maybe it was all regions. No, that didn't help. All right, so we still have those 2 guys. Yeah, it looks like they've got Conley with Conley and Bass, but Bass didn't appear interested. And they're all 1 stars with the exception of Morrison. So, but we did look at their stats, and they look like they might be okay. So, anyway, we'll figure that out. We are down to the championship, Florida Gators, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And Florida prevails 65-62 to cut down the nets on the season. Let's see, we do have an alert. Award winners are announced. You can also check or go to the schedule, tournament scores, stat leaders. All right, here we go. We will look at that in just a second. Let's look at our stats, final stats on the season. Sort by point. So Darius Hurd was our leading scorer, 10.5 points a game. 9.1 for McCray. Zach Benton, 8.5. 8.3 for Skiffer. So I think I made the right call on those guys. 7.5 for Austin, which is disappointing. But, maybe next year we need to focus inside and just really pound the rock to him. I don't know. All right, so we looked. I had to put a pause in there again, guys. Sorry about that. All right, so we've got our top scorers there. Top rebounders. Austin at 7.4, Welch 5.2, Skipper 5.1. I think he's going to be a pretty decent player for us. Ow. Got a cut on my finger and it hurts. Let's see, but let's go to the advance button because that lets us look at the awards. Here we go. So, entire association. All right, so there's the Norton Award winner, Alan Agby from Virginia, point guard, 25 points, 7.5 boards, 2.6 assists. Pretty good. NCAA's most outstanding player, Michael Gallagher out of Florida. Justin Grady, the player of the year out of Marquette. He also won Defensive Player of the Year. Agby was Freshman of the Year. And Michael White out of Florida, Coach of the Year. First team All-Americans, Agby, Grady, Joe Kluwer out of Kentucky, Jason Dodson, Ohio State, Greg Barnes, Northern Iowa. And second team All-Americans, Abe Sales from Oklahoma, Johnny Thompson, San Diego State, Jason Sanders, K-State, Sean Russell, Notre Dame, and William Johnson, the center out of Louisville. If we take a look at the Patriot League, individual awards, Player of the Year out of Loyola, James Dooley. Holy Cross's Chiron Joyce was the Defensive Player of the Year. Jason Goolsby, Freshman of the Year from Bucknell, and Brett Nelson, Coach of the Year. What? I didn't have a shot at that award? Holy Cross. Taking a look at the first team all-conference, Army's Jay Owens, Holy Cross's Lennox Largent, Loyola's James Dooley, Americans, Francis Harris and Chiron Joyce from Holy Cross. Second team, Lavelle Slade from Holy Cross, John Thompson out of Army, James Weston, Holy Cross, Jason Goolsby, Bucknell, and BJ Moore from Colgate. None of our players good enough to compete in that category. And we are going to continue into the off season, guys. That puts an end to the second season at Navy. So when we come back for season 3, we will take a look at how we are doing. Well, let's do a real quick look. Oh, we're down to 90%, so they haven't hung it up on us yet. And now the goal is just don't finish last. So they're not even giving us the 10 wins as an out. All right, well, hit that like button for me, subscribe, and we will see you guys next episode as we get into the start of season 3 with Navy.